Hello, my name is Charles Helton, and today our presentation is on error prevention and representations in interfaces. So, in this presentation, we're going to discuss slips, mistakes, and error prevention, specifically in games. So, slips in games, and we're going to come up with solutions to prevent those slips, as well as mistakes, and design solutions to prevent those mistakes. In topic 2, we're going to analyze good and bad representations in interfaces, and then we'll go to the conclusion. So first, slips, mistakes, and error prevention in games. Now, this game I chose is Monopoly. It's a popular game, and there's a lot of ways to make mistakes or slips in this game, which is why I picked it. So a slip would be simply not moving the right amount of spaces you were supposed to move. So if you roll an 8 and you only move your character 7 spaces. So that could happen if you're distracted. You could have just not seen very well and didn't count right. And a design solution for that could be, what if there was an audio pad built into it? So whenever it noticed a character moving and you picked it up and touched it down, it would say 1, 2, 3, and count it out loud. And then whenever you picked up another piece, it would know that it's not the same piece, and it would start from 1 again. Mistakes in Monopoly could normally be from not knowing the rules properly. So in Monopoly, if you want to build houses, you need to build one house on your property. You have to have a whole set of properties first, of colors. When you have the whole set, you could build a house on one, and to build another house, you have to put it on one of the other properties in that set. When all those properties have a house, then you can build your second house on one of those properties in the set. So an incorrect action would be putting your second house on a property with no houses on another property. A design solution could be to make stackable houses so that they will only stack if you have houses in the right spaces first. Or you could just add more of the common rules like on the back of the cards. A challenging aspect of Monopoly is strategy. So you have money and you land on a space. Do you buy that space or do you save your money because you might need it to pay rent? That's not a slip or a mistake to make that purchase. It's just a challenging aspect because you need to make good decisions. Topic 2 is analyzing good and bad representations in interfaces. For my example, I chose analog and digital watches. Digital watches usually can offer way more than an analog watch. A digital watch can be used as a stopwatch, a calculator. Sometimes you can input contact information into a digital watch. So they could do a whole lot more. And the watch represents its interface by visually displaying information on the screen. So the screen tells you AM, PM. It could give you the date. On top of the time, it could set alarms for you. It could be a calculator. And it also has information printed in yellow, on this case, on the face of the watch. So some of the directions basically are on the watch, which makes it much easier to use. So as far as criteria of being a good representation and interface, it has high visibility. You can see all this extra information on the screen as well as on the face, like near the numbers and the buttons. And it's understandable. This stuff literally is using English. It says this button makes it start, this button makes it stop. This button turns your alarm on, this one off. So it's understandable. It has high visibility. It's a good representation of its interface. Now, a bad interface is still a wristwatch, but an analog one. So an analog one, first of all, you need to learn how to use it. Not everyone can just pick up this watch and know exactly what time it is. Even if you do know how to read this watch, it does not tell you AM or PM. On top of that, if you want to adjust the time, like let's say for daylight savings time, it may not be what's the word? It may not be easily understood how to use the dial on the side to set the watch in the way you want. So I would say as it's a bad representation of the interface because visibility isn't clear. You have to learn how to read it, and it doesn't even give you AM or PM. And understandability is poor because there's just a dial on the side. There's no words telling you what that dial does. So compared to a digital watch, I think the analog watch is a bad representation of its interface. And that's it. So we talked about slips, mistakes, and error prevention in games. I talked about Monopoly specifically. And in topic 2, we discussed good and bad representations of interfaces. And I use wristwatches as an example and what criteria make them good or bad representation of an interface. Thank you very much for listening.